Luck. It is the word we whisper when we can't quite grasp someone else. Success. And the word we curse when we face our own failures. We call people lucky because, let's be honest, it's easier than admitting they built the very things we're still just dreaming about. But what if luck was never random? What if it was something we actually create, slowly, quietly, through a series of choices that no one ever sees? There was once a man who was convinced that luck absolutely hated him. He wasn't bitter about it, just tired. Tired of trying, tired of losing, and tired of watching other people seem to get everything he ever wanted. Every time he failed, he'd let out a sigh and say, "Some people just get all the luck." And maybe he was right, or maybe he was just passively waiting for life to finally notice him. Then one day, something small, something completely ordinary, shifted his entire world. It all started when his old car broke down. Of course, it was pouring rain. He had a meeting he absolutely could not miss, and naturally, the taxi app on his phone refused to load. He cursed his bad luck all over again. But as he stood there, drenched and frustrated, an older man pulled up beside him. The man just smiled and asked, "Car trouble?" They ended up fixing the car together, right there on the side of the road. It turned out that this kind stranger owned a small company, and just a week later, he offered our man a job. That was the day he learned something absolutely crucial. Luck isn't some kind of magic. It is the reward you get for staying in motion when you have every single reason to just give up and stop. He started to see a pattern. Luck didn't seem to find people who were just sitting still, waiting for something to happen. It found the people who consistently showed up. So he started showing up. He began arriving at work early. He stayed a little later. He started asking the questions that others were too afraid to ask. And slowly, life began to respond. Not with miracles, but with opportunities that were cleverly disguised as hard work. Soon, people started saying things like, "You're so lucky, things always seem to work out for you." He'd just smile quietly because he knew the truth. They were only seeing the harvest, not the countless days he had spent planting the seeds in complete silence. Luck, he realized, is built in those quiet moments, in the hours when no one is watching, in the courage to keep showing up even when you feel completely invisible, and in the decision to keep moving forward even when fear is screaming at you to stay put. There's a strange kind of magic that happens when you stop waiting and you start doing. When you start doing all the small, unglamorous things that nobody ever claps for. Because one day, all of those small things start to add up, and that's when people look at you and call it luck. But the truth, it's just consistency finally meeting the right moment. He once read a line that stayed with him forever. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So he started preparing. He prepared for moments that hadn't even arrived yet. He learned, he practiced, he failed, and then he learned some more. While other people were just waiting for a door to open, he was busy building his own handle. He finally understood that life rewards movement, not magic. Months turned into years. He wasn't the smartest person in the room. He wasn't the fastest, but he was relentless. He worked quietly without any applause until one day his big, lucky break finally came. But he didn't call it luck anymore. He called it the moment his preparation finally became visible to the world. Because here's the secret about luck. It's not a lottery ticket. It's a language. And every small action you take, every bit of persistence you show, every single time you refuse to quit, that's how you learn to speak it. Some people wait for the universe to choose them. Others choose themselves. And when you stop waiting to be chosen, when you start creating your own momentum, you'll find that life starts to bend toward your energy. That's what luck really is. It's the universe responding to your movement. Think about it for a second. How many times did you almost get lucky, but you gave up just one step too soon? How many doors did you stop knocking on right before they were about to swing open? Luck doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who build while they're waiting. He once told a friend, "You don't chase luck. You create the conditions where it has no choice but to find you." Wake up a little earlier. Work a little harder. Learn constantly. Be ready. And then one day, when opportunity finally knocks on your door, you'll already be standing there, waiting to open it. That's what makes lucky people look so effortless. They've just been practicing for years when no one was looking. He started looking back on all his old failures, the heartbreaks, the rejections, the losses, and he realized something profound. Every single one of them had prepared him for the next door. Every no had refined him for the eventual yes. Maybe he wasn't unlucky after all. Maybe he was being shaped. Maybe all along he wasn't failing. He was forging. And here's what no one ever tells you. Sometimes the greatest stroke of luck you can have is not getting what you wanted, because it forces you to grow into the person you were always meant to be. The universe doesn't always hand you opportunities on a silver platter. Sometimes it hands you lessons disguised as delays, because before you can have what's meant for you, you have to become the person who can handle it. That's not misfortune, that's alignment. The man who once thought he was the unluckiest person in the world now wakes up each day with a quiet sense of gratitude. He doesn't wait for luck anymore. He builds it. One act of courage, one small risk, one extra hour at a time. And luck, funny enough, seems to always find him now. Because when you stop chasing chance and you start creating purpose, life has a way of meeting you halfway. So maybe luck isn't something that happens to you. Maybe it's something you become. Every time you show up, every time you choose effort over excuses, every time you take another step forward, even when no one is clapping for you. That's where luck lives. It lives in motion. It lives in discipline. It lives in belief. If you've been feeling unlucky lately, maybe it's not that life has forgotten about you. Maybe it's just waiting for you to remember your own power. Stop waiting for the right moment. Create it. Because the difference between the lucky and the lost isn't fate. It's action. And sometimes, the miracle you're waiting for doesn't show up until after you do. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you'd like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Stay strong and keep moving.